The roar of bulldozers shattered the morning silence as I stood frozen in my driveway. In my hand was a legal notice that claimed my 12,000-acre ranch, land my grandfather bought in 1947, had been sold. The paper said I'd signed the deed transfer 3 weeks ago. I never signed a thing. The bulldozer operator looked apologetic as I ran toward him. He shut off the engine and pointed to his work orders. According to his paperwork, the Sunset Hills HOA had purchased my entire ranch for $23 million. My name is Jacob Martinez. I'm a third-generation rancher in West Texas. I didn't just inherit property, I inherited a promise. On one side of the fence is my weathered ranch house, surrounded by oaks my grandmother planted. On the other side? Sunset Hills. McMansions with fountains that use more water in a day than my cattle drink in a week. Their president, Karen Whitfield, had been circling my land like a vulture for years. She told me my cattle were an eyesore. I told her to get off my porch. I thought she was just blowing hot air. I was wrong. Karen wasn't just the HOA president, she was a silent partner in the development corporation. My ranch was her white whale, the final piece of her master plan. The surveyors appeared first. Then, 50 feet of my fence was torn down and 23 of my prize Angus cattle went missing. My lawyer, Tom Bradley, discovered that the HOA had filed a quiet title action based on a forged easement from 1962. The county clerk, Janet Morrison, had processed it without a single notification to me. We later found out she'd received a massive campaign contribution from the HOA's Political Action Committee. I hired a forensic document expert. He found the smoking gun. The signatures on the deed were sophisticated forgeries, but they made one amateur mistake. They used the wrong middle initial. Every legal document I've ever signed uses my full middle name, Alejandro. The forged documents? Just the letter A. The local sheriff refused to investigate. The prosecutor wouldn't meet with us. Even the local paper wouldn't run the story. The conspiracy went deeper than I ever imagined. But I wasn't about to roll over. If they wanted to play dirty, I'd show them what 3 generations of stubborn ranchers could do. I contacted a friend at a national news network and leaked the forgeries. Overnight, ranch stolen by corrupt HOA became the top trending story in the country. Reporters descended on Sunset Hills like locusts. Karen tried to hold a press conference. She stood there in her pearls, stammering and turning beet red as reporters asked why she'd pre-sold lots on land she didn't legally own. The FBI opened an investigation into interstate fraud. Suddenly, the blue wall of the HOA began to crumble. The first whistleblower was the HOA treasurer. He handed over recorded conversations where Karen laughed about how stupid ranchers wouldn't notice legal tricks. The FBI seized the HOA computers. They didn't just find my file. They found 17 other property owners who had been targeted over the last 5 years. Karen's emails were a nightmare. She wrote that property rights are just obstacles to community beautification. But it got darker. 3 elderly owners had died under suspicious circumstances after refusing to sell. Prosecutors found emails where Karen researched their medical conditions and inheritance laws. She had accumulated over $40 million, hidden in offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. She wasn't just an HOA president. She was running a racketeering enterprise that would have made a mob boss proud. The trial lasted 3 weeks. I sat on that stand and told the jury what it felt like to watch a bulldozer head for my grandmother's trees. Karen's lawyer tried to blame clerical errors. The jury wasn't buying it. When the verdict came down, guilty on all counts, the courtroom erupted. The judge didn't mince words. "You turned a homeowners association into a criminal enterprise," he told Karen. "You corrupted the very institutions meant to protect the people." He noted that she'd shown zero remorse, even smirking while her victims cried on the stand. He decided the federal guidelines of 8 years weren't enough. "I want to send a message to every HOA board in this country," he said. Karen Whitfield was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison and ordered to pay $7.5 million in restitution. As the bailiff placed her in handcuffs, she finally snapped. She started screaming that it was all a misunderstanding, that she was improving the community. Her face went from red to a ghostly white as the reality sank in. She lost everything. Her wealth. Her reputation. Her freedom. All for a few more acres of luxury expansion. The other conspirators, including the county clerk, got 3 to 8 years. The Sunset Hills HOA was dissolved by court order. Today, the fences are back up. My cattle are grazing exactly where they belong. The oak trees are still standing. And sometimes, when the wind blows from the east, I can still hear the quiet of the ranch, The kind of quiet you can't buy with $23 million.